My name is Sister Laura Dion. I'm sister for the community of Sainte-Famille in Sherbrooke. Hello, everybody. My instinct was looking for something some years ago. I didn't know what I was looking for, but one day I went for an acupuncture treatment, and the fellow there was a good little devil. So I asked him, "Don't you want to lend me your machine? We're Friday. For the weekend, I'm going to keep it." He says, "Okay." So I take back the machine with me, and there was a young sister I knew who had terrible cramps in her leg. So I put the pads on her feet, and it really helped a lot. So the following week, I said, "I've got to bring back this machine." I had just bought it. So I bring the machine back, and he says, "Well, you can keep it for some time. I'm using it right now." So I start using the machine with other sisters, and all the sisters thought they felt much better. So I thought, well, I've got to bring back this machine again. It's not mine, you know, back and forth. So they talked about this to the authorities. The sisters wanted to keep the machine, and the authorities talk about this. I didn't talk about the machine at all myself. Says, "Yeah, I could show you the machine if you want." So the authorities said, we're going to decide and present the case to the board. So they had a whole lot of witnesses, and they heard what the sisters had to say, so they bought the machine. So this is right the beginning of the whole thing. You know, I'm not a seller, I'm not a star, and I don't like really selling things. But anyway, last fall, we had a sister who was 80 years of age. She had a varicose wound on her leg, close to the ankle. And that was in the beginning of November, and she was suffering a lot. And I had been working in the infirmary, but I was no longer there because I had not enough time to work there. So I was there, and they were doing her dressing. And I said, "What are you waiting for? Send me the sister for RHUMART treatments, otherwise they're going to cut her leg." So I ignored the nurses. I told the patient, "Come and see me right away today." Oh, this was hurting so much for her. You know, for 2 months she was suffering. It was right after the holidays. So she came right away, and right after the first treatment, she thought that there was a great improvement. So every day she was faithful. She was there. She was going through the treatment. And the doctor says, "Well, you know, the machine of Laura Dion is doing that. And, you know, I know that, etc." But I didn't worry about what he was saying, you know. It wasn't worthwhile. So I was continuing, and the sister was saying, "There's so much problem in this leg, it's really terrible." So, you know, I didn't really know what it was going to go on with that, because she already had a phlebitis in the fatty tissue in the leg, and there was such a wound that the doctor could actually stick in his finger up to the articulation, and he was talking with all these scientific words. You know, I don't understand a word when they talk like that, those doctors. Anyway, you know, the doctor, he tells the nurse, at least with his hand, he makes a gesture and tells the nurse, "We're going to cut the leg." She says, "What? You're not going to cut my leg? Not like this." So, okay, we're going to wait. So she kept on seeing me, and, you know, she had such a wound. When we took off the dressing, it was just, you know, going in her shoe, and the shoe was full of blood, you know. So every day she came to see me, and it started improving. And sometimes she was saying it hurt so much, but right after the treatment she says, "You know, I'm no longer hurt." So she was really encouraged. So I didn't keep any files. I don't have any time to keep files. You know, sometimes people say sisters don't work. Well, they can just call me and they'll see. So, anyway, we continued the treatment. She was encouraged. So the wound was always there, and there was always a flow in her shoe and all that. Anyway, you know, we said that the prologue of St. John, what he said actually was something miraculous. So I tried reciting this prologue to help her. Anyway, it was impossible really to think that there could be improvement. Anyway, after some time, anyway, let's say 3 weeks, I don't know how much time, you know, I'm not good at that. Anyway, after 3 weeks, it started to dry up, the wound closed up, it started to heal, there was crust, and really everything was gone. She was really encouraged. So that took 1.5 months, maybe 2 months, and the doctor had certified that she was no longer having problems. He didn't understand, but I understand. Anyway, tough for him. So imagine this sister who has 80 years of age is very happy. She knows that her leg otherwise would have been cut. And everybody knows, you know, during the summertime, we had microbes, something called salmonella. Anyway, I don't really know what the word means exactly. Anyway, so the doctor wanted to bring her to the hospital, and the nurse said, no, she can die here. She'll be better here than in the hospital. Anyway, the first analysis, the first test that she had received was negative, so the doctor didn't understand a thing. Says, how come? She was supposed to die. She was dying. And the first tests are negative. I said, I understand because she took the RHUMART. That's why. Well, thank you very much, and I hope that there's going to be a snowball effect.